Hey Clashers, 1 week ago we had the summer update in Clash of Clans, and it seems like that there was one thing in there which everyone agreed on. And that's right, the seasonal defenses. Well, a lot of people said that the concept of the defenses themselves is pretty cool, keeps the game fresh and everything, but the way on how they were introduced into the game with the seasonal cycle and on top of that with the temporary upgrade system was really disliked by many, or let's just call it the majority of people out there. Content creators have shared that they don't like it really either, including myself. Community, viewers, players have shared on many different, in many different places that they don't really like the feature either. And I just hope Supercell will listen. In fact, actually, Supercell has already shared on social media that they're looking into it and that they're recording a Bitter Hut or in the Bitter Hut episode, but they're going to talk about the concept behind this. And hopefully they will talk about as well about possible changes for the future on how they're going to improve it to make it better like a better feature for the players in future times of Clash of Clans. This is as well the moment I want to use to share with you how I would change the feature to make it more appealing to pretty much most player bases out there, I guess, because this is always something you have to keep in mind. There is so many different players out there who are playing the game differently. Super casual players, obviously the free-to-play versus Gold Pass versus some offers bought versus, I don't know, legend players, competitive players, tournament players in general. Like, so many different player types out there, and I feel like my approach should actually fix the seasonal content, the seasonal cycle for most part. So what I would do actually is I would introduce a new magic item. We can just call it the seasonal hammer. I don't know. I think you will come up with a better name with that one. But what it pretty much does is pretty just upgrading one of those defenses right away whenever you want to over the season. Sounds simple, but at the same time, you might now say, iTzu, that is not going to make Supercell any money, and why should they do that? Well, actually, first off, you want to have a balance between making money and keeping the players busy. Otherwise, Clash of Clans would not be so many years old now, and if they would just look for the money, right? So, this means they have to somehow change something about it, because this feature right now is not really well received by anyone, I want to say. With this magic item, you can upgrade one of those seasonal defenses whenever you want over the entire season. And every season, you're going to get one of them for free. Obviously, there will be a limit of one, so you could not save and stack them over different seasons. But what would this actually do? Well, first off, free-to-play players get their hands on one of those defenses from the beginning in a max state, so they can use that for pushing, clan war, for farming, for whatever they want pretty much. On the other side, people who want to spend money, resources, time, whatever, into the remaining defenses are obviously getting the advantage of being flexible. The meta might change. You might want to have the hook tower on the first day, the mortar on the second day, the flame spinner on the third day, I don't know, but you can switch things around because you have all of them upgraded. And this will be obviously the advantage of putting more resources in there, even though you have already one of those defenses maxed out. But having a 3-month cycle, and as a free-to-play player, you need 54 days to upgrade one of those defenses, just is not fun whatsoever. So there needs to be something changed. I feel like that magic item is actually fixing the majority of issues. Obviously, it will be still temporary content, which is not optimal, but I think at this point, it's too late to change that really, and I don't see that Supercell is going to change that. That would be obviously great, but I think it's quite unrealistic. So, that's my approach. Adding the magic item to pretty much everyone having a benefit out there from a player perspective, and I really hope that something like that is going to be considered. I would love to hear as well your feedback on my idea, or make sure that you're sharing your feedback as well in the comments, because if there's like a comment really like with a lot of likes I can see, or if there's this certain suggestion getting added a lot of times, for sure make sure for sure that I will pass this on to Supercell, and hopefully it's going to have some impact to make this currently not so great feature into hopefully in the future, really good feature, which we then all can enjoy in the game. Because at the end of the day, one reason why we play this game is because we enjoy it, we're passionate about it, and we want to make sure that it's as enjoyable for as many people as possible. I mean, that's the entire purpose behind this, right? So make sure that you're giving your feedback there, and let me know as well what you feel like and how you feel like about my approach. I've talked about Judo, like with Judoslav already about this, and he liked it quite a lot as well. I think he will do a video about this topic as well in the future where he will mention it. And yeah, I feel like it's just such a fair approach for pretty much all player base, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the feedback of you guys. But there were two more things in this last update which were really controversial. The first thing is the troop order when you're having the troop power at the bottom of your screen during the attack. There was the change that you can drag your troops around on the army screen and they're going to change the order in your attack. By the way, there was as well a feature request from the community again, and this kind of shows that at least in Clash of Clans, Supercell typically always listens to the community feedback. We have seen that as well in the, I think, September season, or was it November? But like last year's season when the Gold Pass they have removed a skin, and the entire feedback of the community, including again the creators, was quite negative about it, and they backtracked right away. So I kind of hope the same thing for the seasonal defenses still. I don't think that we're going to have a chance of having any changes for this specific season, for those 3 months. But I hope for the future month and future cycles and everything, we're going to have some impact there. But as I said, Supercell is kind of trying. These in Clash of Clans, I'm not playing Clash Royale because based on comments, this has to be horrible over there. But at least in Clash of Clans, we typically have a lot of like, they are listening and then they're adapting. And as I said earlier, the feature with the troop deployment and troop order and everything was a feature wished from a lot of people within the community. But I think the implementation, again, was not at its best. First off, I think in the settings, there should be the option of turning out the feature. Because not everyone would like to optimize their troop power and optimize it into the last step of the attack where you have the deployment in of those troops. Some people are just super casual, they know those orders now for years, and they just want to play the game. So they should be just possible for them to pretty much play the game as they were before. If they're not interested in the feature, just allow them to turn it off. So that should be for sure something which should be added to the game in the settings menu, that you can switch off the manual order of those troops within the armies. The next point about this as well is that obviously there's still a lot of bugs in there. If you're out of Legends and you're like pressing next, sometimes the orders are changing. I know Supercell right now already, I don't know, like working or have already deployed optional updates or something to like fix those issues, or at least I hope that they will eventually do that. But again, those are not intentional, not like really how it's supposed to work. So I hope that they're going to work on that really soon. But the ultimate thing about this topic for me is really that they're having the option of turning that off. The third point now for the update, in my opinion, which was a big talking point, was the Supercell ID names. And for this one, we have again a really big headline of communication. I know, I pretty much always talk about this whenever I criticize Supercell. Communication is just so not optimal. I mean, that's just how you have to say it. Because roughly 1 year or like a half year ago or something like that, Supercell shared on social media, and maybe even if you have your language in English in-game, maybe even in-game, they have shared that they want to make the Supercell ID names unique. And if you want to keep your Supercell ID name, you should claim it, and then they have shared the link where you can claim and make sure that you're keeping your unique names. But it seems like a lot of people have missed that. Again, like I said, the communication was not good whatsoever. So they should have made more people aware of this. And now a lot of people were caught off guard, and they have now their Supercell ID names changed because apparently others have claimed their names already and such. So that's the reason. If you're wondering why you're now named in a different way, that's pretty much the reason, to make sure that the Supercell ID names are unique. And you can still rename those, by the way. And I hope I remember to put the link down below in the description of where you can change the Supercell ID name. You can do that once. And hopefully that's going to make things easier. But yeah, it was communicated that that is going to happen, that this feature is going to be rolling out and going to make Supercell ID names unique. But it was communicated not in a good way. And yeah, was a bit surprised, or like not a little, big surprise, I guess, for many, that their names were changed in the list. But otherwise, that's pretty much how I would summarize the last update, because I feel like the new spell, the new troop level, everything were really well received. I think especially the new spell is like really, really powerful, and it can be used in many different places. I think it was a really nice choice of adding that to the game. And really the controversial big points were those three which I just mentioned. I hope I didn't miss any. If I did, let me know in the comments. But otherwise, the three place to give feedback to my approach with the magic item, how I would fix the season defenses. Maybe your feedback on how you would change that, so I can pass it on, and maybe Supercell consider it for the future. And I hope that we're going to together make this game a better place for the future, and make sure that this game is moving on for many more years. And that's pretty much what I hope for. And thank you for watching the video to this point. I hope I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next Clash video. Until then, see ya and bye-bye.